Most of these products went viral before they even dropped. We saw them all over social media, but you know what? Do beauties actually go back to them? Are the influencers talking about them, showing them, and then leaving them? I actually test them, review them. I've used these multiple times. I'm ready to talk about them. Let's get into these viral beauty product reviews. One of the new sunscreens that I tried is from CeraVe, and this product has gone viral, but kind of in a bad way. I just have this little sample of it, and I didn't even want to try it, but once it went viral on social media because the beauties were arguing about it, I went ahead and tried it. This is supposed to be a invisible mineral sunscreen. Now, you already know why they were tussling in comments about this product. It's because there were beauties that got this product early or were gifted it in PR, and they started using it and showed that it had an invisible finish. They were, very much using it in heavy amounts and showing that it had no white cast. And as you can see, it looks like it may actually settle down to a pretty invisible finish, but as you'll see, I'll put in footage here, it's not invisible. There is a slight white cast, and you can tell it's a white cast. It's not something that I would be comfortable leaving the house with, feeling like I didn't have a sheen or film of white cast on my face, and therefore I don't feel like it's a invisible mineral sunscreen. Now, we now know, especially beauties who are using sunscreen every day, we know that the recommended amount is 1/4 teaspoon of sunscreen for your face and another serving for like your neck and chest area, so a little bit past like your face. If you're using that much, you're going to get a white cast. I used less than the 1/4 teaspoon, and I'm going to say I used less because the multiple times that I used this, I didn't measure it out, but you'll see in the footage, I used quite a bit of this. There's a white cast. And not only that, it smells really bad. Like bothersome bad. It's a artificial sunscreen, chemically kind of scent. It's not invisible. It's just a basic sunscreen. There's nothing else in it that gives it a edge. We know that like the K-beauty sunscreens and some of the more prestige brand sunscreens are giving us more in the sunscreen. It's sunscreen plus peptides, sometimes niacinamide, other things that make the formula special. There's nothing special about this. It smells bad and it has a white cast still. It's just okay. The way I review products for Nubelease.com and all over social media at Nubelease is on a scale of bad to must have. Bad is a product that I just cannot get with. It does worse than what it said it was going to do, or it had some other negative property reaction or something to it that just made it bad. I couldn't finish it. I could just not get through it. That's a bad product. All the way to a must-have, which is something that I continue to repurchase, that I would recommend to almost anyone, almost universally be able to recommend this product. That's a must-have. And I have to admit, after reviewing thousands of products since 2016 when I started Nubelease.com, I will say most products fall into the okay to good category. This product was actually hyped a lot when it first came out, but then it sort of fell out of the talking points. And I think it's because it's hard to talk about this product unless you really have gone through most of it, because you have to see the benefits over time. I saw lots of content creators talk about this when it first came out, but then there was nothing to be talked about it later. If you are wondering, these are the Topicals brightening patches. They're calling their brightening dark spot patches. There's 20 of them in here, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about them now before I finish them, because once I finish them, you won't be able to see kind of like what they look like. This is a dark spot patch, and it's formulated with a hydrocolloid kind of feel to it. So just like the typical acne covering, acne protecting patches, but it also has kojic acid, absorbic acid, and niacinamide. So it's kind of like the trifecta with also tranexamic acid to help reduce hyperpigmentation, to help prevent marks and spots while calming the skin. These are amazing. Now, if you have the Topicals cream, that kind of like, yeah, I guess it's like a cream or ointment to help dark spots, this is similar to that, but different. And I tell you why. These go on to different dark marks that you have and then help brighten them over time. I noticed that when I had a dark spot, and the one I tested was up here, I could tell within a week that it had lightened up a little bit more. And now where I'm at here, it's pretty much gone. Now, the only issue I have with this product, because I think this is an excellent product, I think this is a great product. My only issue is that if you are someone like me that has hyperpigmentation around my face at different points in time, this is not economical. Like, this is not a good value, because out of the 20 patches, it took me about 10 to see the lightening up. So I could get like, 2 spots or 2 areas out of this, and then it's done, because I don't have enough patches to really see the results. Now, granted, had I started using these right when the dark spot appeared, I may have been able to get it to lighten up a little bit sooner than just the 10 patches. But how often does that happen where you can get really like, you get on it right away? I don't know. The usability to me is limited to beauties that have great skin that only have a dark spot that they need to get rid of every once in a while. Then you can keep these in your collection. They're a great product and you will love them. For anyone else, someone like me that does not have the best skin in terms of hyperpigmentation and dark spots, it's better to just go ahead and get the topicals, like ointment version, because you'll get a lot more use out of it. One of the products I've been trying for the last few weeks or so that I'm really surprised by is the new e.l.f. Thirst Burst Plump Tide Lip Treatment. Now, this is not one of those tingling, plumping products. It's really more of a smoothing, glossy lip treatment, I would say. This is very similar to what I feel like the Ole Henriksen lip treatments are like, and I love those. I have many of them. I have like 4 of them. This is similar to that. I would say that this is one of the best like lip treatment, glossy lip treatments from the drugstore right now. And I know that they created this wanting to make it similar to more of the Sephora brand, prestige brand lip balms. I have it on today, like over my lip product, and I love it. It just is a glossiness to it, but then it's also long lasting, hydrating. This is really good. I think this is even better than their other lip balms. Hold on, let me show you. So e.l.f. has these other lip balms that they've had out for a while. These are their Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balms, and these are good. This is better. This is way better because it's longer lasting, high shine still, and you feel like you're getting a smoothing and evening on the lips. This is more gloss and temporary like hydration, but more is just like color with gloss. Like, this is to be more like a slightly hydrating lip gloss. This is treatment. You can feel the treatment with this. It looks really good. I like these a lot. I think that I will be repurchasing this. I think this is a great product, especially at the price point. These I like, but they're just good. I have quite a few of the Too Faced Cloud Whipped Lip and Cheek Color from their Cloud Crush line. There was just a lot of words to say there. I have it in a few different shades here, in the Super Candy Cloud shade, the Love Potion, and Headliner shade. I wanted like a pop of color, like pinky color, but then I also wanted to try a few shades that would be like everyday shades. I'm wearing this shade, the pink, what's it called? Super Candy Clouds shade right now on my cheeks. And I have it on my lips because it is a whipped texture that you can put on your lips and cheeks. I love this product. This sort of moussey texture is my absolute favorite in products. And you can just tell, like, there's pigment there. You can build it up, or you can just have it be like a little flush on the cheeks. You dot it on. You can blend it in with your fingers or a brush. To me, either one works really well. And it lasts all day. Honestly, I've been wearing this since early this morning, so it's already been, I've already had this on my cheeks for 8 hours. And then I have had the lip balm, or the lip, kind of like the lip color, I've reapplied twice. So this is an all day lasting product. And I didn't even really go as ham as I really could have been on like the color and pigment. They do such a good job like with this whole line. I'm so glad that I have these 3 because I love them. I've been reaching for them. This is a great product. Just for reference, let me show you the other shades. This is the shade Headliner. I think this is supposed to be more of a mauvey, deep mauvey shade. This shade is called Love Potion. I love this like deep burgundy like shade. Oh, this is gonna be so pretty for fall winter. And then the other shade, Headliner, if you when I dab this out on my cheeks, it gives like just a nice neutral, natural flush to the cheeks that I think looks really pretty on deeper skin. I love all three of these shades. This is a great product. Some of the most talked about products right now are the Marc Jacobs collection products, or at least they were. This was so exciting to see Marc Jacobs come back to the beauty space. If you are an OG in the beauty community, you know how exciting this is, especially because Marc Jacobs had some of the like goated beauty products like 10 years ago. I was super excited to try these products. I grabbed the Legally Bronze Sculpting Bronzer in the shade Medium Deep 40. I also grabbed the Marc Jacobs mascara, the Marc Jacobs Flashes Volumizing Mascara, and I got it in the shade 1 Onyx. And then I also grabbed the Marc Jacobs Draw This Way Long Wear Eyeliner, and I got that in the shade 200 No Shade. The packaging on this is so pretty because they decided to do these fun, like 3D kind of details on them. So the mascara has this like star detail, the bronzer has like this flower on it. It's so cute. Even the eyeliner has it, which is really funny because they were able to fit in such a cute little detail, the 3D star on this as well. And overall, I'm just kind of lukewarm about this launch. It was a little bit underwhelming. I really expected a lot from these products, but they are just okay to good. The mascara has a completely different wand than their original mascara. It's got that sort of standard, what I consider like a Too Faced wand, where it's a little bit pinched in the middle, I guess you could say, and then a little bit wider, or almost like a barrel kind of wand shape, I guess you could say. And then it has the shorter bristles. I have short and sparse lashes. I say that every time just so that people know that my lashes struggle. And this did not do much for my short and sparse lashes. It just put some pigment on them and did some separation. I was missing the volume. I was missing the curl and like real va-va-voom that I thought I was going to get, especially because I loved the original Marc Jacobs mascara. That was like one of the best mascaras, definitely one of the best at Sephora at the time. I loved that mascara. This doesn't hold a candle to that mascara. This is just okay. I'll continue to use it, but it's just okay. The eyeliner is nice, but to be honest, this eyeliner style has just aged out and is not as special in the beauty space anymore. When Marc Jacobs came out with their gel creamy kind of eyeliners 10 years ago, this was really something. At that point, there was really only a handful of brands that had really good deeply pigmented eyeliners. You had Marc Jacobs, Urban Decay, Stila. Those brands had really good eyeliners, and I remember loving the Marc Jacobs liners and Urban Decay and Stila. I had all of them because those were the ones that could really give you pigment, long wearing, smudge proof, all of that. The drugstore was like not able to get those formulas. Since then, you can get a really deep black long wear waterproof eyeliner from almost any brand, and that makes this less special. I do love this eyeliner. I have it on right now, but it's just good. It's not anything special, especially for the price point. The Marc Jacobs bronzer is really interesting. I think they did a great job with this formula. This is a very neutral, deep shade that I think looks really beautiful. I have it on today with the, blush on from Too Faced, and I like the pigment on this. I think you can build it up. You can define a lot with whatever, tool, I guess whatever brush you have, you can do some definition. I've used it to carve out or contour a little bit of my nose, around the perimeter of my face. I think it looks really good, and I love a neutral bronzer. Now we can go back and forth on the bronzing shades because that part I think is where it falls. They did 8 shades in this line, and this shade is, I think this is there's two more shades after this, I think. And so I appreciate that there is some shades for deeper beauties. And I had a shade, but the shade before this is so much lighter, like so drastically lighter, that this is the only shade. If you are in the Fenty 400 family, you have just this shade. There is no other shade. The shades after this are way deeper, and so you're just left with just this one option, and the other shades are way lighter. I don't know why they did that. I feel like that was a misstep on their end, because yes, have shades that go deep, but also have options, because I am a beauty that, because I have a neutral golden undertone, I always go neutral with my bronzers. I kind of want them to sculpt instead of add warmth to my face, because I don't like to look orange. It's very easy for neutral and golden babes to look orange, and so we have to be careful about that. I always go neutral, but I'm not the only kind of dark skinned girl. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, if I was a warm skin tone, I would want a warm bronzer, but I could still be my shade and need or want a warm bronzer. So you've missed all of those beauties. And so I think it's a little bit of a misstep. This is beautiful for me. I think it lasts a long time. Obviously, I've been wearing my makeup for a long time. This has been on for 8 hours. I think it's just blendable, beautiful. This is a good product, but it's not a great product. And I think that they misstepped a little bit on the actual shades. The price is expensive. Packaging is beautiful. So it's just good. I think it's just a good product. Overall, you can see why I was saying that I'm just a little bit underwhelmed with this. They came out with good products and good to okay products, nothing special. There's nothing about this launch from the 3 products that I have that is going to draw me back to wanting to spend more of that premium price point money the next time they launch things, if that makes sense. Now onto the fragrance. Y'all know I have been deep into my love of fragrance lately, and I've tried a lot of the new launches. I have thoughts. I was able to get a sample of the new Carolina Herrera Good Girl scent. This is in Jasmine Absolute. This is a very interesting scent. They went completely different with a gourmand scent. This is a gourmand jasmine, caramelized toffee, roasted tonka bean scent, and y'all, this scent is so good. Like, the balance that they were able to create with the jasmine and the tonka bean and the caramelized toffee is so, I don't know how, elevated in the way they were able to do it. It doesn't smell like a cheap gourmand at all. It smells like an elevated, sexy gourmand that I just love. I really love this scent. What I will say though is I wouldn't buy a full-size version of this. Let me tell you why. I wrote in my notes that the jasmine is pretty soft, so I'm getting more of the tonka bean and the toffee. I feel like this is warm, it's luxurious. I feel like the longevity is pretty good. Most of the day, medium projection. It's a beautiful scent, but it's not good enough for me to want to pay that luxury price point. I think it comes down to the price point with this, because it's a great scent. I love using it. I'm going to enjoy using this sample. But once we get to that full size, for me to like replace this sample size, you're going to have to be special, because there are other brands that do a caramelized toffee gourmand, warm gourmand really well for much less of a price point. So unless you're a collector of Carolina Herrera fragrances, or there's something just unique about this that draws you to it, I think it's a great scent. It's not going to be worth me spending $200 for a full size though. I got a sample of the new Dolce & Gabbana light blue. This is the Eau de Parfum, and this is so good. There is just a lightness, freshness, citrusiness to this that I love. It's got lemon, frangipani, ambery woods. This is my favorite version of light blue that I've smelled so far. And that's including the Capri and Loves and all of that. There is one of them that I also love like this, but the original light blue is like this, but this adds that amberiness is what makes it different to me. I wrote that I feel like this is a modern version of a citrus scent. Sometimes with like goated fragrances like light blue, it just becomes old after a while. It's not as interesting because it's been used by so many people and it's so recognizable that it just feels like it's like an easy pass, because it's like, yeah, I like it, it smells good, but it's not giving anything new for me. I think that this version is feminine in a way. Of course, it is a woman's fragrance. I think that it lasted longer when I did a side by side of the mini that I have of the original light blue, but that may be because it's got that warmer, ambery, woody note. This is a great fragrance. I think that it's lasted. I put on here that it's moderate for longevity. So for me, it lasted about 6 hours or so. So, most of the day, but I think that this is a good one. It's a good buy. I would buy a mini of this. I probably wouldn't buy a full size, but that's just because I don't gravitate towards my fresh and clean scents as much as my other fragrances. So I would be using this mostly in summer, mostly as like a day-to-day summer scent. I picked up the new Fleur Paradise Nectar scent. This is a hair and body mist, so it's got black currant, pink pepper, mandarin, tuberose, jasmine, lotus, patchouli, amber wood, and cashmere wood. I like this. I like it. It's not giving me obsessed. I like it. I think that this is a good mix of all of the notes. Like you can smell the black currant, you can smell the mandarin. I get a little bit of all of the levels. Like sometimes you get more of just the top notes or base notes. I'm getting a little bit of the top note, a little bit of the mid, a little bit of the base. And I like that. I wrote on my notes that this grew on me throughout the day and that it's a warm floral with some depth, and I like that. It lasted all day though. I was happy about that. I love Fleur fragrances for that just off rip. I know that I can wear a Fleur fragrance all day. I can reapply a little bit, but it's going to give me longevity, and that's why I keep going back to them. And that's why I'm getting rid of my Sol de Janeiro collection and using that up and pretty much making Fleur my default for when I'm looking for a fragrance mist with some other brands too, because I will never stop buying Bath and Body Works. This one has medium projection, so it is more than just, you smelling just yourself, and, it kind of projects a little bit, but not a ton. I said in my notes that it has medium projection, so it projects a little bit, but not exactly the highest projection, which is okay because it is just a body mist. And I said that the mandarin threw me off in the beginning, but once it settled down, I love this. This is a really nice scent. It's a good scent. Just good. Sometimes it feels like I'm late to the party on things, but it's just because things have so much hype around them when they first come out and then they just are forgotten about and nobody talks about it anymore. I feel like that with the Huda Beauty fragrance because there was so much hype around it before it came out, and then everyone, the influencers and beauty community that was able to get their hands on it fast, talked about it, and then it was gone, and I don't hear anybody talking about it. But I've been using this and I like it. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake fragrance. This is the Easy Bake Intense. This is a new version of their original. I've got some notes on both of them. So the original Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder Fragrance, Easy Bake Intense. What am I calling it? The original Easy Bake Intense. No, this is not intense. Oh my gosh. The original Easy Bake Eau de Parfum was really a riff of their loose setting powder that people loved the scent of. It originally has pear, gardenia, jasmine, tuberose, orchid, ylang ylang, coconut, vanilla, amber, so many different fragrance notes. This smells exactly like the powder, and some people don't like actual fragrances in their cosmetics, and that's understandable, but for the beauty lovers that loved that scent, they did a great job of just bottling that up. I barely use this, not because I don't love the scent, because I do. It's very much, in my notes I said like a deep woody floral. I just barely wore it because I knew it was limited edition and this was going to be sort of like a makeup history kind of item, and so I didn't use it much. I'm starting to use it a little bit more now, especially because I don't want things to just sit in my collection like it's a museum. I do want to use them, but for the last few years I haven't been using it because I was like, ooh, it's too special, I'm not gonna ever be able to get it again. And it's true, you can't get it again, but I do love this scent. It's very nostalgic now, especially because I use the Easy Bake powder, the pressed powder, the loose powder, and I love that product. So I have this in my collection and I'm going to be keeping it, but I'm going to start using it a little bit more. This version, the 2026 version of the Easy Bake powder, is different because it's still a floral and they kept that floral scent profile, but they added some more modern scent notes that people love. One being the wild cherry. They have white flowers, cinnamon bark, caramel milk, and vanilla bourbon. I said in my notes, I feel like this is more floral than gourmand. The first version was very much a, warm, deep scent. This one is floral. I get more of the floral, just a little bit of the cherry, mostly the white floral note. I think that it lasts about 6 hours. I do feel like the original lasted longer. It's got some good projection on it, both of them do. And so I like this fragrance, but I don't think it's something that I would wear every single day. I haven't been reaching for it every single day. I do think that they added some trendy notes like the cherry and the caramel milk. I don't know if over time I'm going to want that, if that makes sense. Like when you add the trendiness of the time to a fragrance, it takes me back to that time. But if those fragrance notes fall out of favor and I'm just over it, or we just move to a different type of scent, then I won't use it as much. I hope I'm making sense. I just feel like they updated it to have a trendiness that may not stand the test of time. But I do like it. I think it's a good scent. One of my absolute favorite fragrances right now is the Ilsa Serena from Ellis, Brooklyn. This scent is so good. It's like nothing else I have in my collection, and I am fully obsessed with it. This is a lime, blue, hava, banana, papaya, coconut water, vanilla orchid, and teakwood scent. They snapped on this. I really feel like Ellis Brooklyn has been doing so good with this summer, beachy, vacation vibe, whole set of fragrances. They don't have not one that is a miss, and I love this. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I never thought that I would love a lime scent in the way that I love this scent. There's a little bit of that banana and papaya. You get the lime. This smells like a luxury vacation to me, like a real fun girls trip vacation. I love it so much. I said in my notes that it feels like a luxury tropical vacation, and the lime stands out. It doesn't smell juvenile or young or, it doesn't have that typical coconut sunscreeny beachy type vibe that sometimes is hit or miss for me. And I love that they also did something different with the formula. They have something called their Halo Scent technology. It is their proprietary technology that is supposed to release the fragrance over time, making it a long-lasting scent, and it does. Even yesterday, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I texted one of my best friends, I can still smell this scent. I sprayed it the morning. I sprayed a little bit more in the evening time. I woke up and I still had this on, and I loved it so much. So the longevity and that halo scent technology is really good. They really did a good job with this fragrance. I love it. This is one of the fragrances, one of the few times a fragrance is so good that once I finish this, I may repurchase because it's so unique for me. Now, if you love more beachy scents, fresh scents, tropical scents, maybe this won't be as unique, but it is unique for me because I don't have something like this. One of the other things I was going to say too is I feel like Ellis Brooklyn did a really good job with the packaging on this. This is a very thick bottle. I love that it has a very heavy magnetic top. And I looked at my collection and I said to myself, I don't actually have a lot of fragrances with magnetic tops anymore. A lot of the brands have been kind of cheaping out on the packaging. They are doing these thinner, lighter packaging. The sprayers are not as luxurious. And I really feel like Ellis Brooklyn went the opposite direction of cheapening out on their fragrances, and they're actually making them more luxury, more elevated, the packaging more elevated. I love this. This is a win. If you're looking for something like this, get it because it's so good. I picked up the new Mugler fragrances from TikTok Shop. You can only get this trio set of travel fragrances from the TikTok Shop right now, and I've got thoughts. It comes in this sort of packaging, and you get 3 of the new scents. They do sell the full-size versions on their website, and it comes with the pistachio praline. It also comes with the pineapple musk and the berry licorice. There was something about the description of all 3 of these that I just knew I wasn't going to like. But I am a collector of Mugler fragrances, and I was like, you know what? I got to give it a try because I got to give it a try. And because this was a travel set, I said, okay, if I don't like them, I won't be so upset. I knew I couldn't get the full sizes because if I didn't like them, I would be upset. I am surprised. Am I pleasantly surprised? Both. I both like these scents, all three of them, but I still have some critique because one thing about me, I'm going to have critique. The first one that I tried is this pistachio praline scent. This is so pistachio. This is the most pistachio scent that I have ever tried in my life. And I feel like the Kayali pistachio scent was really heavy on the pistachio. This one is even more. This has notes of pistachio, caramel, and patchouli. I said in my notes, this has a very, very pistachio opening. Almost too food-like in the beginning. But once it settles down and dries down, it ends up being like a smooth foodie scent, a smooth gourmand. And I like that. It's got 6 hours of longevity for me, even putting it on more overnight or before bed. So 6 hours is really good. 6+ hours, a little bit more, is pretty good for a fragrance like this. Mugler said that they formulated these to be more similar to like a eau de toilette fragrance versus a body mist, even though this is a like body mist. I agree with that because this actually lasts a little bit longer than a standard body mist, and I think they did a good job with formulating these to be interesting enough that they feel almost like a perfume and not a body mist. I like this pistachio one. I would never get a full size of it because it's just a little bit too on the nose for the pistachio, but it is nice. Surprisingly, I was least excited about trying the pineapple musk because once I smelled it on a scent strip, I was like, this smells generic. It wasn't really giving me anything special, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna really like this one that much, but I ended up liking it. This is a pineapple, coconut, and crystal musk fragrance. The first smell of it is very generically tropical. Even on the scent strip now, it's just generically tropical. But once you get it on your skin, that coconut and musk sort of mixes together with the pineapple to give it an interesting, pleasant scent. How do I call it? I would consider it not beachy, tropical. This is a nice, tropical, pleasant, tropical scent. I don't think I would pay for a full size of this one either because it is nice, but not unique enough and not special enough for me to want to pay the price point. This is a fragrance that I would be happy to get from one of my favorite body mist brands, something from like a Sol de Janeiro or from a Capari or one of the other good tropical fragrance brands, but I wouldn't want to pay a luxury price point for it. The last one is the berry licorice, and I just knew licorice was not going to be for me. I just knew I was going to not like this one, but it surprised me, pleasantly surprised. This berry licorice scent smells like the strawberry, the raspberry, and you really get that berry opening, and then as it dries down, it's more and more of the licorice, and I was like, ooh, not gonna like that. But once it all comes together, I smell a little bit less of the licorice, and dare I say the licorice actually adds to a complexity that makes this berry scent not so generic and fruity. Like the licorice is what makes this feel and smell like a luxury fragrance. So on the skin, I said that the licorice actually makes it more interesting, and I ended up liking it a lot more over time. And it's very hard to do a berry scent, a fruity berry scent, and get the longevity. And this one lasted about 6 hours on me. So going back to them formulating this to be like a fragrance but still be a body mist, I think Mugler really did a good job with that because all the scents, even with me feeling like they're good, but I wouldn't get full sizes, they do at least feel like and smell like a luxury version of a body mist, unlike some of the other brands that I've critiqued that just kind of smell like regular body mist that shouldn't be at a luxury price point. I like these. I wouldn't buy full sizes though. That was a lot to get through. If you are still here, go ahead and subscribe to the Nubelease YouTube channel and follow at Nubelease on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, and check out nubelease.com for more content, nail content, makeup, skincare, sunscreen. Everything is on there. I do reviews and give you some recommendations and things like that. I love doing these videos. It's really fun to get my thoughts out so I know what things to buy, what things to stay away from. I hope this was helpful for you. And let me know, what new viral products have you tried that you loved? Which new viral products were you disappointed by? Help me out so I don't waste my money. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.